You know, some life lessons will never be realized until the teacher has delivered the lesson and left you with the homework. This is what I realized when my grandmother passed away. Grief will shake you up and wake you up at the same time. Are you ready to change your story? Chances are you're stuck in an endless loop of a story that no longer serves you. It's time to embrace the new love story of you. I'm a mother and an entrepreneur. There's a chance that you are too. If you're ready to go on this journey of elevation with me while embracing the love story of you, your goals, doubts, fears, and desires, well, I'm here for it. Go grab your tea, your wine, your water, or whatever. Now it's time for you to be Confidence on Stilettos. Hey Boss Beauties, thank you for stopping by. It is your girl Laketta, and I am here, of course, to talk about some good grief. You know, grief, we often hear about the depressing part of grief. But it's a part of the journey, it's a part of the process. But at the end of the day, given that you can get through the many phases of grief, and grief never, to me, it never fully goes away. It's always, you know, they're simmering at some point in your life. It just depends on the person that passed away, the situation that has surpassed in your life. It depends on the weight that it held in your life. So with that being said and done, though, there are moments that you have to find the goodness in grief, and I like to call that good grief. So if you're new here, I thank you for stopping by and taking the time to hang out with your girl. I am always grateful to have you. For those of you who are new and those of you who have been here with me, I want you to go ahead and share this podcast out, rate it. That way we can stay somewhere in the algorithm and more people can get a chance to hear about us and help further the mission of Confidence on Stilettos. But basically, what this podcast is about is to empower women to create goals and crush them by embracing their love story between their dreams, their doubts, fears, and desires, and to curate the life that they really want. You know, everything, all of the power is in your hands. It's just about how you take intentional action. But like I mentioned, today, I just wanted to hopefully help someone navigate grief, navigate to get to the goodness, that good grief. So it's so many people leaving this earth. That's factual. That's so many. And then as of lately, to me, it's been more so what I've been seeing is a lot of young people, a lot of people my age or even younger, that's just been leaving here. And I always tell people, I'm like, damn, is it going to be any grandparents? You know how we had grandparents, but is there going to be any damn grandparents around? Because people are dying so young. And a lot of times it's untimely deaths. It's just living recklessly. It's, you know, we had COVID in here. Just things I think that could have been prevented. What could have been done to prevent the premature deaths is what I'm trying to say. But one of the breathtaking grief moments that has happened in my life is the passing of my grandmother. And it's been necessary for me to take a brief break because of that passing. And it truly almost knocked the wind out of me. One thing that has been really sitting with me and on my spirit as of late And that is, what's the lesson, Laketta? What is the lesson and the blessing and the passing of your grandmother? And it may take years to actualize. What I do know is that part of that lesson couldn't be revealed unless my granny passed. As hard as it was to see her leave here, I know that we needed, well, I'm going to say we, because all of us, my sisters, my mother, my kids, my sister's kids, my granny's sisters that's still living, her brother that's still living, all of us hated to see her go. But as for me, and I'm just talking about me personally, there's part of the lessons I feel that we couldn't in life that couldn't be revealed unless she passed. Who she was all by herself and who she was to this family. No one would fully grasp that until we couldn't access her anymore. So when you lose a big part of you, there's no easy step 1, step 2, step 3. So I don't have any steps to give you, anything to leave you with other than my story and how I'm viewing getting through the process to get to say, good grief, good grief. But there's no magical pill you can take. There's no magical, roller coaster you can get on. There's not a quick elevator that will take you straight to the top and you'll be okay. There's not anything that I can provide to you other than it's a process. Grief comes and goes. When it comes and goes, you never know when it's going to arrive. When the wave's going to come, you never know. Sometimes you may feel like, dang, I got through that real good. I feel good today. I feel like I can breathe today. And then in that next minute, that wave can hit you. And you feel like you're sinking. Like you can't breathe. Like you're just holding on. So yeah, I just have to reiterate to you, I don't have that step 1, step 2, step 3 for you and what you need to do to get through grief. All I have for you is to breathe when that moment comes and that emotion rises up in you like that wave. Ride the wave. If you gotta cry, cry. If you have to write. If you need to do something that has a creative outlet, however it is that you decide to grieve, let that happen. But do not let somebody tell you when you should stop grieving, when enough crying is enough crying. I always say don't let grief overtake you because you're still alive. You're still here. So don't let the grief overtake you. But what I will say is ride that wave. When that emotion arises, hey, ride it out. Ride it out. So my grandmother passed away on July 28th of 2023. And some days it still feels like it just happened. Heck, the other day, what is today? Girl, I don't know what today is. I don't even know when I'm going to put this podcast out, this episode out. But I'm going to say about 2 or 3 days ago. And mind you, we in 2024, September of 2024. Well over 365 days since my grandmother's been gone. But I boo-hoo cried like it happened yesterday, just a few days ago. That wave hit me. And I just had to ride the wave. My grandmother was a huge part of my life. I think every day since I've been born, my grandmother was a part of my life. And when I say was a part of my life, yes, all grandparents are a part of our lives. But when I say a part of our lives, I'm talking about where I see my grandmother every day. I talk to her every day, multiple times a day. And when that part of you goes, you're going to be knocked around a little bit. The waves going to knock you around a little bit. The best thing that analogy that I think that I was presented with, and it was before my grandmother's passing, but I went back to it, and who knows why God put it in front of me during the time that He put it in front of me. But my daughter, she is on this Grey's Anatomy kick. Always on Grey's Anatomy for the past couple of years. And once she finishes the season, she, not the whole season, but, the entire show. All the seasons, okay? When she finished all the seasons. Then she might take a little 2-week break, but then she gonna come right back to Grey's Anatomy and start watching it all over again like she ain't never seen stuff before. But because of course, I'm just like, when she's watching Grey's Anatomy, I'm just like passing through the house, and I know that she's watching it because I can hear, the whole scenery and all of that stuff. But what I wanted to say is one of the analogies that often plays out in my mind when I think about grief is there was a part in Grey's Anatomy, and again, I don't know the characters' names, but it was a young lady. She was a doctor, and I don't know if she was like a cardiologist or a heart doctor, but she was a young lady, and she had just lost her mother. Her mother had passed away. She took it really bad, so of course she went on like a leave of absence from her position in the show, y'all. In the show, okay, I gotta bring you back. In the show, she went on a leave of absence because she was just taking her mother's death really, really badly. So once she felt like she was ready to come back to work, her first day back to work, she had to do a surgery on the heart, removing a pacemaker out of the patient's heart. And all of the doctors and her colleagues were on hand just in case she froze up because, it was her first day back. She's still grieving her mother. They don't know how she's going to, react when she comes back to work. So, they have all the doctors on hand just in case they need to take over. So she removes she's in surgery. She removes the pacemaker. And when she removes the pacemaker, it's like she stops. And of course, on TV shows to keep your adrenaline going, they got the intense music going in the background. So us, the viewers, it's like, damn, are you about to finish this surgery or not? But she pauses for a very long time, and everybody in the room on the show is like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And she says, "Yes, I'm okay. I'm waiting for the heart to start pumping and realize that it has to do the work on its own. That a major part of it has been removed and it's learning how to get its rhythm on its own." And when my grandmother passed, I went back, just that particular episode that my daughter was looking at during probably a year from before my grandmother passed. That's why I say it's certain things that stick with you. You never know what's being pressed upon your subconscious, but that stuck with me. I was just passing through and heard this, a whole year before my grandmother passed, and I came back to it, or it came back to me, I should say, once my grandmother passed, to help me probably process what I was going through in grief. And what it is, my grandmother was our pacemaker. She was my pacemaker, And now that part of me is no longer physically accessible. Now I had to learn all over again how to keep going, how to restructure my life, how to breathe again, how to maneuver life without the help of my grandmother. And this may be true for some of you. Some of you maybe have just recently gone through someone passing, or it could be a breakup, or it could be a loss of a job. Whatever it is that you're grieving, that was once a physical part of you that is no longer accessible, you have got to learn to give yourself grace while you're learning how to maneuver life without that vital part of you. But like I mentioned, we hear so much about the downside to grieving. However, I want to tell you about the silver lining I found in grief. So grief has taught me a lot about perspective. Things that I thought I valued means absolutely nothing to me. Okay? The things that I thought I valued prior to my grandmother's passing, when I say they mean absolutely nothing to me, I mean my whole perspective in life changed on July 28th of 2023. What I value most now is peace, kindness, love, just light, just things that I don't have to prove myself and my value, that I know how valuable I am. And the people that God allows to see my value, I don't have to prove anything to them. They just see it. It's just something that God has woken up inside of them when I walk in the room, and vice versa. That we just see it. It's light, it's love, it's peace. It's what God wants us all to be. God is love. He's not religion. He's love. He's kindness. He's peace. So it's unfortunate that a substantial amount of love oftentimes comes from individuals outside of your family. And those of you who have families that you're close-knit and you can feel a lot of the love and not judgment and all of that nastiness and fakeness within family, you don't know how blessed you are. But it's one thing my grandmother used to say to me. She used to say that the family that you come from is important, but what's more important is the family that you create. And then she also used to say, don't worry about about the people that have wronged you, because what's in the wash comes out in the rinse. She used to always say that what's in the wash comes out in the rinse. And I remember I didn't get that until after I had a divorce. I didn't get that until a lot of what was in the wash was coming out in the rinse. And both expressions are very, very powerful. Life is beautiful and it's meant to be enjoyed. And memories are just meant to be made, because one day, I'm telling y'all, one day that may be all you have are those memories. So you want to have quality relationships, quality people in your circle. You don't need all of the negativity. You don't need people that you're trying to prove yourself to. Those are not your people. And some of these people may be in your family, but those are not your people. God will align you with the people that can see you, and that you can see You may not be able to see everybody. You know what I'm saying? You may be feeling like, oh, this person needs to prove themselves to me. This person needs to prove themselves. I'm telling y'all, with my grandmother's passing, listen, light, love, peace, joy. That's all that I care about. That is it. That's all I care about. That's what it is. Don't let the memory of you be, how do I put this? I'm just really trying to say, don't let the memory of you be of you, devaluing people and causing turmoil in this world. I'm not here to prove anything to anyone but God. That is my personal belief. That's who I believe in. I believe in God. I believe that Jesus Christ died on the cross for us. You may not believe in the same thing, and that's perfectly fine. Believe in what you believe, but one thing that I do say is that I'm going to walk with integrity. I'm going to walk with righteousness. I'm going to walk, and I want to be a blessing to people and not a burden. So I'm going to spread love. I want to spread positivity. I want to be kind. I want to be patient. I want to be all of that. Am I perfect? No. Are you perfect? No. We all have bad days. But at the end of the day, let the majority of the qualities that people experience of you and see you as are those positive qualities. My life goal is to spread light and love and help others along the way. That's it. That's all. That's all I got. I know there's much grief going around to last multiple lifetimes, okay? However, grief must happen in order for a new birth to happen. Whether that new birth is a mindset, a new perspective, new life goals, even new people coming into the family. Good grief happens to all of us. But you have to be open to see the lessons. And that, my friends, that's all I got for you today. I hope it blessed you in some way. I hope it helps you on your day-to-day. I hope those of you who are going through grief that you be kind to yourself. You love yourself. You give yourself grace. It's a process. And if you haven't already, please do go grab your Confidence on Stilettos journals. They are on the website www.confidenceonstilettos.com, or you definitely can go on Amazon. We are on Amazon as well, and all of the links will be in the description of this podcast. So don't forget to just spread light and love, y'all. That's all I want. That's all I got for you. So until next time, I'll holler at you. All right now. Bye.